Start. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Nancy Drew Midnight in Salem. We just got done with talking to this old curmudgeon piece of garbage.
Talk to you later.
Look at the texture on that sweater. Okay, so go on the witch tour, talk to Teegan in the museum. My phone's going off. I see. Can I take a photo of this old man? Perfect. I'll be using this for a criminal trial later. Be prepared. Okay. We got the rust begun. And we got this weird picture.
What does this mean?
Alright, she keeps saying that for everything. Okay, well, let's move on. We need to either go see Teegan at the museum or go on the ghost tour. Because I don't think we can look at anything in here. At least not while he's in the room. Did they animate the windows? Not really. It's like a bitmap posted over the window there. It's rough. But oh well. Like I said, don't expect good graphics here. I think we've explored everything in here. We can't get into these doors, I don't think. I also hopefully fixed the mouse cursor issue. I didn't realize the cursor would like disappear on us in the last video, so I'm hoping that I fixed it and you can see the mouse cursor on the screen right now, because it was kind of hard to follow along with what I was doing in the last couple of videos.
Judge's office.
To the right, yes. Jesus, those are some hip glasses. Alright. Ooh, I'm gonna guess we need to get in there at some point in the game. God, go away. You're so close. There's absolutely no feeling of personal
how did your meeting go
space.
with the judge?
Very poorly. The man's a fucking idiot.
He's not telling us everything.
Don't worry. Come back tomorrow. He'll be in a better mood then.
Will he? Why? How do you know this? Are you gonna bake him a box of cookies or something? Because that would be really helpful. Anything in here? Is it a stained couch? What's going on with the colors down there? It's gross. Fix it. Get it fixed. Okay, it's time to move on.
That group is really cheap.
They did put some animated characters outside the window. I'm impressed. I am impressed. Oh god, what shall we do next? Whew. God, I'm tired this morning. I guess it's the afternoon already, isn't it?
The shops.
Aren't doing a lot of business, I wonder why. If they're protesting for a new judge, then I'm all ears, because the new judge sucks ass. The one they have right now is absolute garbage. Let's go to the museum. I'm gonna assume this is the museum. See what's happening. See what's happening at the museum. Oh, Jesus. She looks better than the real people.
Of a Puritan woman accused of being a witch. These were ordinary people, just like anyone else.
Ordinary is a stretch with those faces. She looks better than fucking Teegan does back there. Incredible. What do we got? Souvenir shop is closed. Okay.
The carefully researched genealogy of several accused witches. Their names weren't fully cleared until 2001.
Jesus. That's some knowledge. Remembering the victims of the Salem Witch Trials, the dark times of the Salem Witch... Oh, okay, yeah. The dark times of the Salem Witch Trials, deadliest witch hunt in North America, 20 executed, 200 accused, 19 found guilty that were executed by hanging, and 1 was crushed to death, Giles Corey. 5 died in jail or from torture. So you got Bridget Bishop, George Burroughs, Martha Carrier, Giles Corey. He actually went out like a badass. I don't know if many of you know a lot about the Salem Witch Trials, but he was never actually convicted of being a witch because they basically were trying to force a confession out of him by putting a bunch of rocks on him so he couldn't take the weight anymore to try and get him to confess that he was a witch. But he wouldn't do it, and they actually did end up killing him, crushing him to death, because he wouldn't admit to it. So they never actually did convict him of witchcraft. Just kind of a neat bit of information there for you. George Jacobs, Rebecca Nurse, Alice Parker, colonial American colonist. Interesting stuff. What we got here? 1692 Witch Trials. Let's see what we got here. We got books. We got nothing else to look at, though. Is this the bathroom? The navigation is still kind of weird. Oh, sorry. Oh, God. Can we carve our own pumpkin? I like this tall guy. Oh, I thought you actually would get to draw with the mouse. That's unfortunate. Give him... I like the 2 dots. Where are they? Yeah. The derpy pumpkin. You can go with like the Jack Skellington kind of guy. Sure.
Done. This looks great. Now to find a nice place to put it.
What? Oh, we're supposed to actually put this somewhere?
Hey, sorry about the mess.
I'm just gonna carry a pumpkin around with us, I guess.
So what have you seen in town so far?
Jack
We decided
shit.
to do the Real Witches tour.
Oh, you talked to Olivia.
We talked to a really
What's with
clueless
her
judge.
Witch? Street magician, maybe?
Someone looking for
Has to be
attention.
living.
That's her
Is she
getup.
telling the story about a coven living here in the recent past?
Yep.
Yeah. Why?
Just bad taste.
Olivia is quite the local character. I hope you don't mind if we do the tour.
Why
I
would
want
you...
to see more of the town. And
Like, why even
finding out
tell
if
her?
this
Who
is
gives a
old
shit?
Superstitions is kind of a habit I've gotten into. I'm excited to look around the museum.
Of course.
What was that? Tour tickets. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, that book is like sticking out like a sore thumb, so I'm gonna guess we can read it. Yeah. The Salem of... Oh, God. But, oh, by Beatrice Hodgkiss. Professor Hodgkiss making yet another appearance. God, it's so weird seeing continuity in this game when it's so different from all the rest of them. I'm kind of surprised they actually went with some continuity. I thought they would like completely erase like everything except for maybe the main characters like Frank and Joe and like Ned and obviously Deirdre. But I thought they would like blank slate it. But this is kind of cool that they're doing callbacks. Roger Conant founded Salem in 1626 as a colonial town which was first called Nomkig, I think, for the settlement's location at the mouth of the Nomkig River. The settlers wanted to call it Salem, inspired by the Hebrew word for peace. Despite the peaceful beginnings of a settlement of immigrants, quit texting me, people. Salem is best remembered for the witch trials of the 17th century, the deadliest witch hunt in American history. England had their own witch trials also in the 17th century and had passed a Witchcraft Act, making it the law to put anyone who practiced witchcraft to be put to death. The settlers knew about the dangers of witchcraft through their own histories, but history still repeated itself. From 1692 until 1693, over 200 were accused. The court of Oyer and Terminer were established by Governor William Phipps to interrogate those accused of the work of the devil, witchcraft. Phipps and his active deputy, Governor Thomas Danforth, both men of position and wealth, appointed judges to preside over the trials. One of the harshest judges on the accused was the rich and powerful magistrate Judge John Hathorne. Hathorne's examinations and interrogations relied on spectral evidence, and it had been noted in history that he often judged with an assumption of guilt. Many believe the accusers often gained in wealth and land rights from their accusations, and sentencing that was solely based only on spectral evidence. After the dark period of the trials, laws were changed, and Salem's shipping and merchant economy grew. The settlement became a place of assembly for officials during the War of Independence. Many luminaries hailed from Salem, including noted author Nathaniel Hawthorne, born in 1804. So yeah, that's another kind of neat piece of history, is that... sorry, I just gotta send a text real quick. It's that there actually is basis for evidence that a lot of people accusing others were just doing it for personal, like, gain, right? Like,
Sad that even children are named in the list of those accused witches. Like Abigail Johnson, just 11.
There's a bunch of kids who started it too. So yeah, like a lot of it was like town or property ownership was huge back in those days, like the most important fucking thing ever, right? And a lot of the people who were accusing others of being witches stood to gain a lot of land, because if you were accused of being a witch, your land was actually forfeited to the town, and your items were sold, and your land was put up for sale, if I remember right. The Salem Witch Trials are a tragic time where those accused of witchcraft were not only adults. The hysteria and accusation implicated even the youngest in Salem, the children. Many children were accused, tried, and put into prison. In 1692, Abigail Johnson, at the age of 11, was one such child accused of witchcraft. Her mother, Elizabeth Johnson Sr., that's weird, was also accused of witchcraft in the trials. Abigail had lost her father just 2 years before the Salem trials, and she was being raised by her mother and grandfather. The trials were known for the accusing of many widows and people who had been in trouble for any number of reasons, especially those who may have had relatives who were outspoken against the trials or came from a position of wealth. Such was the case for young Abigail. History notes that her grandfather was an early critic of the witch trials and was known to be outspoken about the injustices of the trials proceedings. Abigail and the numerous members of Abigail's family were accused of witchcraft. The examinations were known to take into account members of the family for many of those accused. For Abigail, this included her mother, her sister, and one of the more famous persons accused in the trials, her Aunt Abigail Faulkner. Aunt Abigail Faulkner was arrested around the same time as young Abigail and accused of afflicting others, resulting in her confession. Jesus, this is a lot. For Abigail Johnson, this time in her life was a long series of examinations, accusations, trials, and depositions. Her aunt was arrested on August 11th of 1692. Her testimonies resulted in an arrest warrant being issued for young Abigail Johnson on August 29th, even though she was only 11. Abigail's widowed mother was also arrested. The Johnsons were arrested and examined on September 16th. Shortly after, Abigail's brother was arrested. Other family members, including her cousins, were examined and are recorded as being among the young children who are accused witches of Salem. The trials... Oh my god, there's a lot of them. Shit. I don't know. I like to read these because... I'm sorry if you don't want me to, but I just like to read them because I like to look at everything in the game. The trials appear to have embroiled suspicion and accusations where neither family nor child were spared from implication, questioning, and arrest. For Abigail Johnson, while both she and her family were arrested, none were among those who were executed. Still, the accused who were in prison suffered from poor conditions and the loss of friends and family. After the trials, many of the accused were known to have petitioned the courts for payment for their losses and asked for the courts to clear their family names. The family of Abigail Johnson, who were accused of witchcraft, included her brother, Stephen Johnson, and her older sister, Elizabeth Johnson. The fear of dark, evil spirits possessing the people of Salem, both the old and the young, caused a hysteria resulting in 20 people executed and over 200 accused of witchcraft. Sadly, the hysteria started with accusations that actually originated from young children when Elizabeth Parris, age 9, Abigail Williams, age 11, claimed to be possessed by the devil and blamed local witches for their actions. Ironically, these first accusers were children. Their accusations became the spark that led to young children, even younger than Abigail Johnson, to be added to the growing list of accused. When the children who were accused of witchcraft were arrested, like Abigail Johnson, they endured pain while being kept in what locals called the witch jails. The children accused and arrested had cold and dark walls in the prison with rats and little food. Dorothy Dorcas Good was the youngest child in the trials. She was accused when she was only 4. She was the youngest among the accused and had to spend 8 months in a prison dungeon. The trials ended for little Dorothy, but her mother, Sarah Good, was later executed. The little children accused of witchcraft in the Salem Witch Trials suffered and are always to be remembered as we honor the accused. So, yeah. It was actually kids who started the witch trials.
Everything you could ever want to know about Salem's history, from the Namkiag people to the Great Salem Fire of 1914.
And for that. But yeah, it was actually a bunch of small children that started it, and most people today believe that they were just doing it for attention, because they would throw seizure fits basically only when people were around. God, it's weird to navigate.
Closed off. Looks like they're preparing a new installation.
But I have a ticket though.
Can't use that here.
Why? Isn't this the tour?
How's the investigating going? Any progress with
Anyway, but yeah.
I've got some leads. I haven't had much progress with May, though. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple of questions, if you have time.
Sure thing.
There's no one else in here. But yeah, like, they were all little kids who would throw fits in front of the adults. So most people think that they were just doing it for attention, and it got out of hand
Just in time
when
for
people
Halloween.
started believing their stories
what
and
is it
stuff.
about?
And they were
If you come back on
afraid
Halloween,
that
I'll show you.
if they stopped and said that, you know, we were faking it, then they would have maybe been accused of witchcraft themselves, or they were going to get in big shit with the town,
Do
obviously.
you have any more information about the Salem Witch Trials?
Did the exhibitions manage to spark your interest?
I haven't seen
They did.
shit.
I found this display showing the
How do I get
ancestry
into the
of
museum?
accused, but it didn't seem fully complete. I was wondering if you had more information stored here somewhere.
Well, we do have
Stored
the upper
on
floor,
these
which is
things you
also where I
have
keep most of my accused
computers.
witches stuff.
Would it be okay for me to go up there? I'd really like getting a better picture of the history of Salem.
Usually we don't allow people up on the second floor.
You're
It's
gonna allow
restricted.
me. You fucking allow me. Damn right,
Maybe
you can make
just this once I
an
can make
exception.
You are here to help, after all. So if you think it would benefit you, feel free to go up there.
Thank you.
I'll open the door for you. It's
Please.
actually really cool. The stairs
Please.
are hidden behind a bookcase.
Shh.
Hold on.
Why? Who would design this? Who would design it like this? But whatever, I guess. Whoa! Let's head up to the top floors here. Holy shit, this is like the entire museum. Why is no one allowed up here? This is ridiculous. Ah! God, every time. What do we got in here?
Whoa, originals? These books must be hundreds of years old. No wonder they're restricted.
So
I hope
make
their information is still open to the public, at least.
So, like, yeah, make copies and put them on public display. This is literally the entire museum. There's, like, 2 things down there. Like, what the fuck? Unless I haven't gone in there. Is this all they're allowing me to do? No, there we go. We got a writing desk. That looks important. Salem and the Prohibition. The AW sign is suspected to be created by bootleggers during the Prohibition. Criminals used the sign of the AW, stating it stood for another way. Cleverly thinking those opposing strong drinks would believe the AW signs to be proclaiming and meaning to choose another way or lifestyle, to choose to turn from the use of spirits. While some believed it to be a good message to turn users to another way of life, it was in reality only a cover. To smugglers and gangsters, the AW sign was code for another way out. The AWs were carved in trees and were hidden markings used as a sign that marked the path that could lead the way to the hidden tunnels underground so they could smuggle their goods out. The directional signs, according to tales, led to secret underground passages to smuggle the illegal goods to gangsters and gain wealth off the illegal beverage. The bootlegger's old inscription, AW, marked the way to underground tunnels that helped to transport beverages and goods under the nose of the law. That's neat. Did I get any message? Oh, right, yeah, no, I don't care about you, Teegan. Go on the witch tour.
Someone's a busy bee. Old court protocols, ancestry records. Teegan is really digging deep into the witch trials.
What do we got to look at here? Oh my god. Are you a descendant? The Salem Witch Trial descendants have spread all over the globe, with 20 victims executed. What? And over 150 have been arrested. The accused and convicted now have a growing number of descendants and relatives. The descendants and relatives have an interest in discovering their past and honoring the victims. Do you have family ties to those accused? Here at the History Museum of Salem, we keep genealogy lists in memory of the accused. Be sure to join the museum's family tree and support the events and lectures that educate and honor the victims and their relatives and descendants. Samuel Wardwell. Male born 1643. Born to Thomas. Wife Sarah Hawkes Wardlaw. Accused by 14-year-old William Baker Jr. Motive was greed and gain a possible motive for Samuel Wardwell being proclaimed guilty of witchcraft? Probably. Sarah, his wife, had a large estate. She would lose if her husband was convicted of witchcraft. Sarah Hawkes, okay. As it had a large estate, she would lose if her husband was convicted of witchcraft. The province of Massachusetts stated that those accused of witchcraft and dealing with the devil would incur a loss of inheritance and property rights. The victims and relatives were not protected of their rights. So, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of it they think had to do with land gain. The descendants of these accused witches in Salem fight for their rights. In 1712, Samuel Wardwell Jr. sided with the colony. Sarah Good, tried and hanged July 19th. Accused records. Accused by Abigail Williams and Betty Paris of the Reverend Paris. Spectral evidence was known to be false. Sarah Good's daughter of age 4, Dorcas Good. God, that's such a horrible name. Why would you ever give someone the nickname Dorcas? Was charged with witchcraft, examined by Judge Hawthorne, found guilty as youngest child accused, and sentenced and was put in jail in chains. Motive: neighbors did not like her scornful nature and requests for charity, as she was a poor woman. Tituba called her a witch first, then the Paris girls, all creating stories to have her tried for witchcraft. That grammar is shit. What's this? The AW, the Accused Witches Organization. So they're using it as accused witches? We fight for justice and clearing of all the family name, to educate with special lectures in the AW meetings, to remember the past and prevent witch hunts of the future. The AW is a safe community to express your feelings for the lost relatives and to seek ways to honor their memories and where those descendants of the accused can seek forgiveness. Fundraising for the Memorial for Lives Lost in Global Witch Trials and relatives and descendants around the world. Join us in fighting for the evidence that proves the innocence of the wrongly accused. AW, the past cannot be repeated, raising awareness through education, events, and memorials for the accused. AW Healing Series, special community support for the accusers and the accused. AW Power, a movement to reclaim selected lands that were illegally lost to greed in the trials for the creation of centers for memorials, events, and lectures. The AW have the rights to they can be restored. Okay. The shame of being associated with the killings of the innocent in the Salem Witch Trial had a devastating impact on those associated with the accusers of the innocent who had blood on their hands. For the descendants, the shame was often too great to endure. Many moved from the area to start new lives. Others changed their names. Famous author Nathaniel Hawthorne was such a descendant. Author Nathaniel Hawthorne was born Nathaniel Hathorne, and he was the great-great-grandson of the noted ruthless judge John Hathorne, who had sent many to their deaths in the trials. The spelling of his name was changed to Hawthorne, in part to remove himself from the connection to his ancestors' shameful past. At one point, Nathaniel Hawthorne felt he was under a curse. He often wrote about Salem and the shame and sadness he felt. In his book, The Scarlet Letter, he wrote of John Hathorne, so conspicuous in the martyrdom of witches that their blood may fairly be said to have left a stain upon him. Reverend Samuel Paris did not apologize. However, he did state in 1694 that I may have been mistaken. He was kicked out of the village, but his family remained. It was rumored in later years of there being an ancestor that had altered their name to Perry. So, there may be a connection to the Perry sisters and Samuel Paris, who was the reverend at that time. Can I look at... oh, Jesus. Can I look at this shit under here? Does not look like it. No. Can I put the pumpkin here?
Can't use that here.
Damn it, why not? We're just in the restricted section. Climb out on the walls.
Well,
what do you have to
have
say,
the
Deirdre?
tickets. Let's go see the Lame Witch of Salem. Oops.
Oh, that's what the
the
tickets
witch.
were meant for. I thought they were meant to get into the museum. Okay. I was like, this museum fucking sucks, man. There's nothing here. Okay, let's go see tour tickets. Let's go to a dumb tour. It's not much of a museum,
How's the
honestly.
investigation
There's nothing to
going?
see.
Any progress with May?
So what's the deal with these pumpkins?
Oh, yeah. I
You make a
prepared some
pumpkin.
pumpkins that visitors can carve and bring with them to place around Salem. feel free to give it a try if you want. It's really fun and completely free.
I'm gonna place one right on
Talk to
May's
you
head,
later.
so I don't have to see that face anymore. So I don't know if you can
Closed
get
off.
in here.
Looks like they're preparing a new installation.
Hopefully it'll open up later in the game, because that's kind of disappointing. Oh, well. Is there nothing? Did I look at the displays here? No. Okay, let's do this witch tour thing. Let's do it! Let's get it done! Do we go through the graveyard?
It'll be more useful to explore the graveyard with a tour guide.
Or do we give it to Olivia? Or do we give it to that creep sitting right behind me all the time? Where are you, Olivia?
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Shut up. We've done this joke before.
Talk to you later.
Where's the witch tour? What do I do? Who do I give this to? What the fuck?
It'll be more useful to explore the graveyard with a tour guide.
Do I just give her the ticket? Ugh. No. So confusing.
This tour sounds interesting.
Welcome on my tour.
There we
Thank you.
go. What? Look for the raven and place the tablet over the spots of interest. Let the raven be your guide. So it's not even a tour, it's us walking around with an iPad. Okay, let us go. Not much of a tour. I see a raven. I see it. Ugh. God damn it. How do I get over there?
Darn.
I'm guessing that's not the raven we're supposed to look for. I think that's just a shot. Okay. Let's go to the graveyard. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, how eerie. Salem sinkholes. Accused Witches Memorial. Judge Hathorne's grave. Unmarked graves. Little Liberty statue. Hathorne House. Puritan statue. Let's go. I'm done. Okay, so we're looking for like a little raven. I'm gonna guess this is the statue. Bringing light into the darkness. Jesus, this camera doesn't make sense.
Abigail Hathorne, helping the accused witches escape the grasp of her own brother, Judge Hathorne himself. Abigail freed many from their holding cells until the judge caught her in the act and locked her up in a cell deep within the Hathorne house. The statue was given the name Little Liberty in honor of her valiant efforts to free the innocent.
Why couldn't that have just been put on a plaque here instead of the tablet? Do I have to notice the AW there?
A-W. This is the same marking as in Mosam Castle.
What a
What a
coincidence.
strange
Indeed.
coincidence.
Indeed. Is this big tree something to see? No? God, go away. That's one ugly gravestone. What the hell? There's like, it looks like a demon. This looks important. Samuel Paris. Okay. That's the Reverend. Is there nothing to... Okay. Is that not on the thing? Oh no, it's Judge Hathorne's grave. Is he buried in Salem? I thought he was buried somewhere else. Okay.
The spot
There
gives
we
me
go.
the...
There he is.
Stand before the remains of Salem's most zealous and conniving judge.
Oof.
So lacking in morals was Judge Hathorn that he sentenced innocents to death while claiming the estates of the dead as his own. Unlike the more remorseful Judge Sewell, Hathorn never felt any guilt for his part in the Salem Witch Trial.
Uh-huh. Samuel Sewell. Did he come back to Salem? I thought he went to, like, Austria. I don't know. Confused. Dorothy Cromwell. That's an old one. These gravestones would never look this good. Oh shit. Fuck me. No! It appears we have our first crash, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, I was just looking at gravestones. Son of a bitch. Well, I'll see. You probably didn't save either. Fuck.